This is the TC505 from RSE, and the people from RSE actually sent me this module as a gift because they really wanted me to have this thing in the studio. However, I was playing with it a little bit and thought it would be cool to create a video about this as well. So here is my review of this very odd looking compressor module. So the TC505 is actually two compressors in one. It is an optical compressor and a very mute compressor. You can choose between one of them. And because this is a very mute compressor, there is of course a tube in here. Now I can talk hours about why very mute compression is the best compression in the world, but let's just zoom in and talk about this particular module. Let's first take an overview of all the controls that are on here. First of all, we of course have our VU meter, which can be switched between output and gain reduction. What is good to notice is that the gain reduction goes from here to here. So it will show the gain reduction like this and not as every other compressor like this. We got a gain knob on here, used to drive the compressor a bit more. Definitely when you want more grit, because that's something that this thing is really good at. Attack and release on this compressor are basically fixed settings. We got fast, slow and medium on switches, both for the attack and release. What you'll hear in my demos is that every attack and release setting has its own sound connected to it. We got our GR here, gain reduction, which basically functions as a threshold. We got our mode here, so we can choose between opto and tube, very mute tube. We can change our ratio between high and low. And we got our mix knob here, which is very nice to have in a compressor like this that creates some grit so that you can mix it with the dry signal and blend those two things together. I actually do that a lot on the Illusia character as well. I use the mix a lot. Actually, it's on mix here right now. So I've got three demos, a snare, an acoustic guitar and a lead vocal. These tracks come from the Davia track Oceans. I'll link to the track in the description down below. So if you want to listen to the full version, check it out in the description down below. All right, snare. So this is our gain reduction now. You can see that it's even reducing gain at our lowest setting. As you can hear, these attack and release settings are really flavors. Let's switch to opto. Totally different sound, different circuit. So already a lot of colors to choose from, but it gets really interesting when we start to drive this thing a little bit more. Can really make it more aggressive. Also on the tube setting. And if we increase ratio, can really add some nice grit to that snare. Like that. Now, if you've listened to the full song, again, links in the description, you will know that this is not a good sound for this song. But, you know, in some songs, maybe the more metal ones, you actually want to create a way more grit this way. Let's move on to the acoustic guitar. Let's reset a little bit of these settings. Let's first do slow. Yeah. It's already reducing a lot of gain here. Bypass. There we go. So let's do a fast recovery. If it wants to, these are the settings that easily can get you into distortion as well. Yeah, here we go. So we're getting distortion, and this time it's not distortion from the gain, but from the attack and release. But it can sound very clean if you know how to use it. Let's do opto. Not very suited for acoustic guitar. Opto tends to, and this is just general opto compressor knowledge, tends to sometimes overshoot a little bit. Mind you, we are on high ratio. Let's make it a little bit more subtle, low ratio. Clean it up a little bit more. Oh, and there we go again. The range between distortion and clean is very, very small with this compressor. Now it's a very specific compressor and it doesn't work on all sound sources. So it really depends on the source. As you can hear with acoustic guitar, there are a few nice flavors in here, but also a lot of flavors that aren't really nice to have on an acoustic guitar. But one of the things that it actually, again, in the correct setting, works really nice on is on vocals. And what works really well on vocal on this compressor is the opto setting and a bit slower attack and release. Again, it tends to quickly add its own character on it.
Live your dreams, drown your fears with flowery thoughts and strawberry smiles. It's your life.
It's really smoothing the vocal out a little bit.
Live your dreams, drown your fears. Do those little things you do with pride.
And actually,
everything you do with pride.
When blending, you can go a little bit more extreme.
Dive into the ocean of the unknown.
It's really giving a bit of a punch to the vocal, a bit of, I don't know, impact. What are the words?
Drive your fears away.
But again, it's very easy to overdo this and get this thing into grid, tube mode, fast, high ratio.
So dive into the ocean of the unknown.
Which is not something you want to have on all vocals.
Each and every wave, each and every wave. Dive into the ocean of the unknown. Drive your fears away to a brighter day.
But I can imagine that on some vocals it actually works really good. So yeah, again, it's a color and it's a certain taste that you're making. These tools, all the tools in an analog toolbox are basically like the colors on a palette that a painter is using to paint its picture. So as I've just shown, this really is a color module. It takes a little bit of practice to really get handy with the controls and with the different sounds that are in there. But once you know it, this is a very useful module. But of course, don't expect a generic sound coming from this. What I also really like about this compressor is just the aesthetics and the way it's built with these switches. This view meter that looks like it directly comes from a nuclear power plant. It's just a very, very cool and very specific module. It sells for around $650. It of course depends a little bit on where you are, your currency, blah, taxes, all that stuff. But that's a pretty competitive price for a 500 series module, and definitely for a 500 series module that has something with a tube in there. So yeah, check it out. I'm going to link to RSE in the description down below. And I just want to quickly say that I'm not being sponsored by the people from RSE. Again, they sent me this module to check out without even asking for a review. But I just really like to talk about audio products. But yeah, they're not connected to me. They're not paying me or whatever. And I actually think that before it's going to end up in my 500 rack, that a few of my friends want to test this thing as well. So this thing is going to make a small tour around a few different studios. Now, if you appreciate my videos and want to support the independence of my channel, because I don't do sponsorships and I don't do baked in advertisement content, that annoying stuff that everybody's doing on YouTube, make sure to check out my affiliate links. I'll link Thomann, Sweetwater and Plugin Boutique over here. If you use my affiliate links, a little bit of your purchase gets kicked back to me. And the cool thing is that you're not paying anything extra for the products that you are buying. So huge thanks if you're doing that. And it's basically a free way to support my channel. Another way to support me is by becoming a channel member. And as a channel member, you get access to some exclusive content, including a video where I unboxed this thing and basically failed at my first look at it because I didn't understand the controls on it. I'll link it over here. It's a... I found it to be a funny video. If you don't want to do that and just want to watch more videos, link an interesting video over here. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep pushing. Don't forget to subscribe. And bye-bye.